welcome Reds to the 100% United pod. I'm your host TC. Here's your co-host Scott. Hello Scott.
Hello.
It's only right before we start to pay our respect to those who lost their lives 62 years ago on that fateful day in Munich. Scars of that day remain, and the Munich air disaster still shapes Manchester United and always will. Forever in our hearts, the Flowers of Manchester.
Yeah, never to be forgotten.
Absolutely, Scott. On today's show, we look back on the January transfer window, the latest drop points against Wolves, and all the other latest United news too. First, Scott, let's reflect on the January transfer window and where it leaves us entering the final stage of the season. Happy with that or not?
Well, happy with getting Bruno at the end, obviously. Can't be happy with the manner of how it happened. It took 3 weeks. But you got to say we did get a good deal in the end of it.
3 weeks, Scott, or 5 months, or 8 months, 10 months?
Yeah, well, from the time the sporting representatives went to the London offices, it was about 3 weeks, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. But, you know, we were chasing him last summer, surely, weren't we?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, if we weren't, I mean, what changed in between times? That's what I want to know.
One thing, perhaps, that I personally think that Pochettino is going to take over in the summer.
Okay.
And I think that he was going after him at Tottenham last summer.
Yeah, okay.
It might be a Pochettino signing, you never know.
Okay, that's an interesting point, Scott. Very interesting indeed. Of course, it comes from Sporting, like Cristiano Ronaldo did. Big price tag, 47, maybe going up to north of 60 million. It's the biggest signing of any club in the Premier League in the January transfer window. But like I say, Scott, I mean, surely we've become such a reactionary club, haven't we? We appointed Solskjaer in a reactionary way. We make these signings in a reactionary way. Of course, Odion Ighalo has arrived as well as a result of Marcus Rashford getting injured. But surely you prepare a squad for injuries, don't you, Scott? Instead of reacting when an injury comes about. I mean, what if Rashford had got injured on the 1st of February?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's one thing for months saying, or even when Lukaku was sold, saying we have faith in Mason Greenwood, he's the best finisher, blah, 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 blah. And then when it truly comes down to it, he obviously doesn't have faith in him, or doesn't have the utmost faith in him.
Yeah, you built him up and you kind of knocked him down with a signing, haven't you? And now, you've got someone in on loan. Odion Ighalo is on loan from China, Shanghai Shenhua. Look, he's here for what we're talking sort of less than 3 months, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you're surely going to play him. Otherwise, what's the point in signing him?
Yeah, and there's not even an option to buy on his loan, right? So it is just 3 or 4 months and then see you later. It's like Henrik Larsson. Yes,
but Henrik Larsson obviously came into a squad that was buzzing, and Fergie thought, look, this is, and I saw Larsson live in all his home games, and I must say he did help shape the future of that United team. He was a really, really positive influence in terms of movement, in terms of attitude, in terms of his experience as well.
But you knew it was temporary.
Yes.
But you knew that the time we had with Larsson was temporary, as opposed to, say, Falcao, that we did have an option at the end. And it was always, can he work up to valuing that fee?
Yeah. I mean, look, Ighalo comes, apparently he's a United fan. He did have that wonderful season for Watford. He has caused damage in the Premier League before, but he has been in China for a couple of years. And, signing someone out of the blue from China, it doesn't shine the light on Manchester United in a positive way. I don't think so.
I agree. I am actually not happy, but not unhappy with the signing.
Me too.
I think he's going to do a job.
Me too.
Whether it's just to fill the numbers, then so be it. But he comes in, he's got zero pressure on him. It's not like when we got Falcao or someone like that you expect he's going to come in and hit the ground running. If anything, he's got zero expectation on him. So he can only succeed if you ask me.
I've got a feeling he's actually gonna do pretty well. I've got a feeling he's going to grab the ball by the horns and actually.
Yeah, but you have a feeling that Harry Maguire's going to score every week. So I don't know about your feeling.
I did tell you it was going to happen, didn't I?
Trust your luck. It was in the FA Cup.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, look, Ighalo comes. He does offer us a different option. But again, we started the transfer window chasing Haaland, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Dortmund.
Yep.
He's tearing it up there, isn't he? He's scoring blooming twos every week. Apparently, we went after Josh King. Of course, someone that Ollie coached. So again, we're going back to the future. Apparently, we popped in an offer for Josh King. Apparently, we asked for Glenn Murray
Yeah.
from Brighton.
Yeah.
Now, I mean,
Yeah, if that's not scraping the barrel, I don't know what is. It just makes me laugh because it wasn't only a few months ago they started saying we've got a database now with 804 strikers in it and we'll be able to cherry pick the best talents out of Europe. And here we are.
I think it was 804 right backs, wasn't it?
Was it right backs? All right. Well,
I
must
think
have
it
been.
was.
If there
I
was
can't
804 right backs, there must have been 800 strikers. God knows how many strikers there were. But the fact that here we are scraping around on the last day, and Ollie's like, "Well, I used to coach Josh King, and he was all right." It doesn't make any sense.
It really does, especially when we started off going for Haaland, right?
Yeah.
So we start off going for someone that fits the
Profile.
one for the future.
Yeah.
The profile, one for the future. Develop at the club, and then we go down and down and down, and like you say, it does look like scraping the barrel at the end, and Gary Neville had a point when he said that Lukaku told United that he was going to leave before the summer.
Oh, March.
Mm-hmm.
Lukaku even said he told Solskjaer in March.
Yep. And then we let Sanchez, and the thing is, we wait till the last day of the window to sell Lukaku. Sanchez went as well. Apparently, Sanchez is going to come back and prove us all wrong.
Yeah, of course he is.
But then at the same time, so is Ollie saying that Sanchez is one of the ones whose attitude is correct? Then
I don't know.
Because if Sanchez's attitude is correct, why is he on loan?
TC, he said the day before Marcus Rojo went on loan, the Marcus Rojo's not going anywhere. He's here to stay. He's an important, valuable member of the squad. Next day, he was in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I honestly, the quotes after the Wolves game about the goalposts, to me, it cringed me out of Ole Solskjaer. And I can't listen to what he says without a pinch of salt anymore and without looking at him as someone who doesn't really know what he's doing.
Yeah, we will look at the Wolves game after, and you're right. Those comments about the goalpost moving, they were shocking.
Yeah,
they were absolutely shocking. If you put a shot a little bit wide, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's a striker. So if you had told Ole the player, if Ole the player would never have made that joke. He would never have made the joke. The goalpost moved. He said, "I finished badly." Yeah. That's what you would have thought.
Yeah,
but you're right. Look. And look, these loan signings. So Rojo's gone out on loan, and I keep on saying Smalling's out on loan. So we've got Rojo and Smalling on loan, but then we know in the big games, Ollie didn't want to play Phil Jones.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
When I said Harry Maguire was going to get injured, and Harry Maguire and Lindelof were playing every week, and then Maguire did get injured, and thank God it wasn't too bad. And really, Maguire's stepping up now, I must say. But it just seems, I just don't know why. I don't know why we're putting someone out on loan who we might need. Because what happens, and please, I pray it doesn't happen, what happens if one of those two does get injured in the next game? Then we don't have the window to save us then.
Yeah, we do have Bailly still to step up. Let's not forget.
Yeah, we do. And hopefully he gets back to some of the form he showed before because, he really did look like a player for a while. But yeah, it just seems this window, it just seems a big mess, doesn't it?
It does, but it honestly, it has the look of it being controlled by someone who isn't there long term and is sort of just there isn't allowed to make massive decisions. I think Bruno Fernandes was a good signing for the club. He's a good signing for any manager, but I don't necessarily think he is an Ole Solskjaer signing. Otherwise, we would have gone after him in the summer.
Yeah. I mean, and I do say this with a pinch of salt, but maybe we should visit Edward's house a bit more often because a couple of days later we got Bruno in, right?
Yes, you got to say that's shocking as well.
Yes, I said with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Also, Ashley Young, of course, left for Inter Milan, so it's a very weird window. It's a very weird window indeed. Look, are we saying Ashley Young's one of the people who didn't have the best interest of the club at heart, so he had to go too, but then he was wearing the captain's armband every week. So
yeah,
a very, very weird window indeed. But I must say that the massive feeling towards it is Bruno Fernandes is our player for good now. He's on a 5-year contract with an extra year to tap on if we want. And he looks like a proper player to me.
He does.
He's been handed the number 18 shirt. What do you make of that, Scott?
I love it. Absolutely love it.
I bet you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fantastic. He was shooting on site, of course. Rio Fernandes said that he spoke to Nani and Cristiano Ronaldo about Bruno, and they both had rave reviews. Cristiano said he's always finding me. He's always on the ball, making space. And Nani said he's perfect for the Premier League too. Again, that's a really positive sign, isn't it, from inside? Because they would have told Rio the truth, and Rio would probably, if it was negative, would not have relayed it. But as it was positive, he did.
Yeah, but as I'm learning that obviously everyone's watched some YouTube compilations of what Bruno's been doing in Portugal, and some of the goalkeeping is horrific.
That's correct.
So, I mean, some of these stats are definitely padded, let's be honest.
Yeah, but we had a Portuguese goalie in goal, didn't we? And at the weekend, and he almost chucked one in for him, didn't he?
That's true.
One more signing, obviously Nathan Bishop, the goalkeeper, came in from Southend. Obviously a young keeper. I didn't know really what to make of that.
No, me neither.
We've got Dean Henderson out in Sheffield United, who sit above us in the table unbelievably. He's clean sheeting it every week. And looking like a real leader for them as well. We've also got Joel Pereira. We've got David De Gea. Lee Grant's obviously there as well. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know where he fits in really.
No, me neither. Let's. I mean, he's obviously fitting in at goalkeeper, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we say, Bruno came in and he was straight into the first team, wasn't he? Of
course he was.
Straight into the first team and straight into basically pulling the strings and being the main man, right?
I think if Harry Maguire hadn't just been given the captain's armband, you'd probably see Bruno be getting it in a few months himself.
Yes, so he is for all intents and purposes a leader.
Yeah,
he has skippered Sporting, and he is a guy who is more than happy to say, "I live to win. I live to lead, to win." You see him when he got sent off and he smashed up the blooming the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a passionate guy. We saw in the Wolves game that he likes to get stuck in too. He's already a fan's favourite. He's already got a nice song as well, hasn't he?
Love it.
Paul Pogba must be very jealous.
I'm sure he doesn't really care anymore.
Yes, we'll get onto that later. First of all, right, so we got the United Wolves. Again, a 0-0 draw against Wolves. We've played them 3 times in the last 29 days. We've played them 6 times in less than a year. Look, unfortunately, and this is a real damning reflection of us at the moment, that we're playing a team like Wolves and it's pretty even Stevens, isn't it? Over 6 games.
Yeah.
It's pretty even Stevens.
Yeah, it's worrying because Wolves are on paper a mid-table team, maybe pushing for European spots, and if we can't score against them, if we can only score 1 goal against them in 4 games, then it is worrying.
And Ollie again was crowing about keeping a clean sheet again against them.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, fair play. We did get a clean sheet. It was a good defensive performance. If Mourinho had said that, we'd be saying, "Oh, Mourinho's ruining United. He's bringing his old defensive tactics in, blah blah blah." But Ole Solskjaer says it, and everyone's absolutely fine with it. Everyone just swallows it like it's, "Oh yeah, I guess we did." It boggles my mind now.
Scott, we haven't scored in 3 Premier League games.
Yeah.
And we haven't scored in back-to-back home games as well.
Yeah.
No goals.
Yeah, but at least the lads are having fun.
And 4 points from 5 games.
Yeah.
Let's look at a positive. David De Gea, 300 games for Manchester United. And he's been playing a lot better recently, hasn't he?
He has, but that dip in form was dramatic.
It really was, wasn't
it? And I don't think we can afford too many more of those.
No, but at least like we mentioned, Dean Henderson he's performed really well for Sheffield United as well. After his little jitters at the start of the season, he is really playing well, and he dominates the box a lot better than Dave as well, doesn't he?
He is, but truth be told, what do we do with him next season? I mean, is he going to replace Dave next season? Is he going to sit on the bench, or is he going to go out on loan again?
I don't know, Scott. I don't know. We seem to be collecting goalkeepers like they're going out of fashion, but then De Gea keeps the jersey, whatever he does. So I don't know. And look, don't get me wrong. De Gea is he has been an amazing servant for us, and he has looked after that goal when the defence weren't looking after it throughout the years. But like you said, after that contract got done and he didn't get the move, it did seem like his mentality did drop a little bit, I think. Yeah,
but he was fantastic against City last week.
He really was. He really was.
Let's hope he can just keep this form going, and we can make a good push in the second half.
Yeah, I must say, early on, I thought that Traore shot had gone in the top corner. Did you?
I did, but yeah.
Dear me.
Yeah.
And then Shaw found Luke Shaw found Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the box. Really, Bruno should have scored from there. That's his bread and butter, isn't it?
It is, but I think, he's probably maybe a bit nervous. I thought he showed really good signs.
He did. He wanted to get on the ball, didn't he? He was even after that shot, which, like you said, he did look a bit nervous. He had that free kick, and he almost made Rui Patricio chuck one in his own net, didn't he? I thought that was in too. God,
yeah.
Wan-Bissaka looking a little bit better going forward as well. Created a nice little chance for Mata. Yeah, he did look more positive going forward, didn't you think?
I do think so. I think he needs to add that to his arsenal, because he's definitely got defending in the bag, right? He adds a bit of attacking, and he can be a really complete wing back.
And Dave, another superb save from Raul Jimenez, and then the chance of the match. Wan-Bissaka found Diego Dalot, and it looked like Dalot had steered it in, didn't it? But again, the goalpost had moved, so it went just wide.
Yeah. Bloody ground staff.
The thing is, if it was an away match, then maybe you'd have a point, but we're playing at home, Ollie, so you control the ground staff. So, yeah, it was awful, that comment.
I'm all for him giving a few jokes and
me too,
adding a bit of positivity here and there, but give us a real reason afterwards. Be like, oh, the ground staff must have moved the goalpost because, ha ha ha. No, seriously, we should have done better. Instead of actually going on like he truly believes the hokum that's coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, because look, Scott, we have after 25 games, we have the worst points tally since Sir Alex Ferguson by some way. It's 11 points behind. We're on 35, and every season since Fergie, we bettered that after 25 games. So that is pretty damning stuff, isn't it?
It is. I don't need those stats to know that we're not going where we're supposed to be going at the moment.
No, and also, what about the comments about he had to tear the house down to rebuild the culture? I mean, tearing the house down, it doesn't sound right to me. It sounds, look, like we said before, we sold Lukaku, right? We let Sanchez go on loan, and then we said everything was fine. And then on the last day of the transfer window, we've got a striker in who no one else was looking at, in from China.
Apparently Spurs were after him.
Okay. And they got Bergwijn instead.
No, the last day, apparently they were after him as well.
Okay. But look, it as we said, it doesn't reflect well on the club at all, and it is the kind of signing that does weaken our image, I think, in terms of, look, we went after all these other big names. Look, Edison Cavani was out there. Cavani was available. I know he's a bit older, but Cavani, he's a proper player.
Yeah, but then you're bringing in a player. It's funny because then you're biting your nose off to spite your face, right? Because then we might have had to pay PSG up to £20 million for him. You're probably paying him 300-400 grand a week, Cavani, and he's coming in with this unbelievable pressure of, okay, he's going to be the one to turn everything around. When truth is, the last few times we've rolled that dice, it hasn't worked out, and I honestly don't think it would have been an impactful signing. And it just would have been going down the same road of us overspending and just being made to look like mugs if it doesn't come off.
Yeah, maybe, but it's better than paying Sanchez blooming to not play for Inter.
Well, we're still paying for that mistake, and I think that's fresh in our minds. Of we can't just go and chuck money somewhere on an expiring contract in January and think it's just going to come through, because things change with these players when they sign these enormous contracts. You see it with Sanchez, you see it with Pogba, you see it all over the place. Mesut Ozil signs this enormous contract and doesn't even show up to training.
Yeah.
As soon as these players start making hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, their focus changes. It's just a sign of the times. And Ighalo comes in with much less pressure than Cavani. And if he comes in and scores 3 goals, then great, that's 3 goals we weren't expecting. But if Cavani comes in and scores 3 goals, he's going to be slated because of the fact he didn't score 17 goals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I do. But at the same time, Cavani's a different level player than Ighalo, isn't he? He's a different class of player in terms of his career.
Yeah, but I don't think we're making signings for Ole Solskjaer's long term in this. I think if anything, Pochettino's he's had his word, and
Do you think so?
most important, yeah, I really do.
And
I really do.
are you on board with Pochettino? Would you like that signing as our next boss?
I'm not sure. He hasn't won anything. We can't ignore that fact.
Yeah.
But he's better than what we got at the moment. We can't ignore that fact. You know, if Ollie Solskjaer gets sacked tomorrow, truly, are any Premier League teams after him?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I'd like maybe Allegri, but I think that Pochettino's got experience in England, speaks the language, obviously.
Yeah.
I think it's the way forward. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, we did say this about 5 months ago, Scott. We didn't want to bang the drum. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a hero to us. He's a guy who's given us one of the best nights of our lives. But we did say in passing that we didn't think he was the right man for the job a long, long time ago.
Yeah, and it's not his fault.
No, it's not.
Not his fault.
It's not.
He came in for a
It's not.
temporary fix,
It's not.
and he did a fantastic job. And then, you know, we should have given him the job to the end of the season and then replaced him in the summer. But I don't think that there was the replacement we wanted was Pochettino, and he wasn't available.
I know. It's and the thing is, I know some people say that he should walk. He should walk if he was, and I do understand that to some extent. But at the same time, look, if someone, I'm sure people said to Ollie when he was back in Norway when he said, "I'm going to play professional football and I'm going to blooming play for Manchester United," the people said, "You're talking nonsense, mate. It's never going to happen."
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, having belief in yourself is a positive thing for a human. And the thing is that in this position, of course, he would believe in himself that he can turn it round.
Yeah.
But if you take the emotion away, if you take away, like you say, like I said to you, you know, if you had given us a list of managers when Jose Mourinho got sacked, Ollie wouldn't have been on it. He wouldn't have been at anyone's list. And of course, the you know, that magical run we had change perspectives, but it's up to a boss, for a CEO to say, look, hang fire, guys. You're the emotional ones, you're the fans, but we had a plan. He's the caretaker. He's brought in to lift the spirits. In the summer, we'll reassess it. And now we've got the away fans singing. There's only one Ed Woodward in Old Trafford, which actually I think is quite a positive sign, because it's only giving us more press against the fact that our ownership and our leadership at the moment is substandard.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just really hope that this director of football gets appointed sooner than later, and I'm all for keeping Ed Woodward at the club, just in a different capacity. Just keep him in the boardroom, away from the footballing side of it, and he does have a future at the club.
Yeah, and I will say as well that a long, long time ago, when the Glazers were looking at taking over the club, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually opposed it. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And I think he was the only player to do it, actually. So, yeah, like I say, we've got the away fans singing "There's only one Ed Woodward." Obviously, it's just been a bit mischievous, but it is not a good atmosphere at the moment at all, is it?
It's not. But let's just hope that a positive run of performances can change this whole tide, because something needs to change, and I hope we end the season well. I really do think that Pochettino's going to take over in the summer.
Okay.
And we're going to go on from there.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, we dominated possession 64-36 and didn't take the 3 points as usual. 16 shots to 15 in our favour, 5 shots on targets to 4 in our favour. 4 corners for us, 6 for them, and 14 fouls for us, 15 for them. Even Stevens, isn't it, really? Like you said.
That was 0-0. It was nothing to talk about.
No, again, it was a mid-table clash, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but it's true. That we haven't looked at the table for a long time because we don't want to, Scott, but we have to now. Spurs beat City.
Yep.
We're down in 7th. Chelsea sit in 4th, 41 points. We play them after the winter break, 17th of February on the Monday at 8 o'clock. Massive match for us. We can obviously close that 6-point gap down to 3. But there's still 2 teams in between us. We got Chelsea on 41. We got Spurs on 37. Sheffield United above us. Dean Henderson, 36 points. We're on 35. Wolves on 35 as well. And then you've got Everton on 33, just below, in 9th position. And luckily, there's one team that always makes us look a little bit better than we really are. Arsenal in the 10th position on 31 points. I chatting to an Everton fan today. He thought Everton were going down, and they've only got two less points than us. So really shocking stuff. Really, that table, Scott. I mean, I must say, we got to open our eyes. Times are changing, and this has been coming. We should have seen it when Leicester won the title, and the weaker teams, in inverted commas, have got a lot stronger. They've got a lot better players. They're a lot better coached. They've got a lot better infrastructure. They've got better training facilities. They're getting better stadiums. Everything is improving and improving and improving. Our stadium's not improving. Our structure's not improving. Our squad's not improving. Our squad is worse than it was last summer. It is. We're in real trouble here, Scott, that there's going to be a big changing of the guard, and we're going to be left away from the party, basically.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's a dangerous, dangerous time, mate. It really is, because look, these other teams are getting money, and look, you don't know what might happen. Sheffield United might creep into the Champions League spots, get all that money, and then you've got another blooming team to worry about now. You've got blooming Everton sitting on 33 points, just below us, and they've got Carlo Ancelotti as their manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a really, really dangerous time, and we need to do something about it pretty sharpish, I think. Look, what did you make of the fact that Pogba's not going on the winter break? He's not going on the training camp. The rumours are circulating again that it's really going to happen. Bruno Fernandes has come in, and that's just going to clear the way for Paul Pogba to go off to Real Madrid in the summer.
Yeah, good riddance. I'll be happy to see him go.
Yeah, me too. I mean, apparently in the changing room, they really want him out as well. They know that his heart's not in it anymore. They like him as a guy, but in general, they want him out the door. We said last summer that Ollie was missing a trick. He was putting his faith in someone who was going to sabotage the season. He pretty much has, Scott, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
When you've got... Don't forget, we paid a world record fee for Paul Pogba. We brought him back when he left us. We put our faith in him.
Yeah, we need to close the book on this. We can't keep talking. He's done. He doesn't show up for games. Doesn't show up even for a holiday in Dubai. Doesn't even show up.
No,
he's done.
I know.
We really need to stop.
I know.
I'll give him away now. couldn't care less. I'm not joking.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? He's basically driving down the price with his attitude, isn't he? He's driving down the price, and the thing is, what we've got the Euros coming up, haven't we?
Yeah.
So he's got to play a bit, surely.
Yeah, or he'll just blame us that he's not in their squad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, me too. Another thing, Scott. On the United Instagram today, Luke Shaw saying we need to regroup, refocus in this winter break. I'm sorry, we were saying this after the Everton game last season. Yeah. There's so many, and you know what we said after that? We said we heard it too many times, and now we're still hearing it. It is just shocking.
No, I feel bad for the players. They've just played 18 games in like 60 days. And we've got a threadbare squad as it is. Some of these players have played every single minute. And I really feel bad for them. I really do.
Yeah, me too. But look, again, last summer we said you can't go into the season this threadbare. You can't, like you said, you can't take the dead wood away without replacing it. Otherwise, everything crashes down. And you said, I hope we're not sitting here in a few months thinking, what have we done? And unfortunately, this season, it is just, it's a train crash, isn't it?
It is, but what do you expect when you've got, your train driver is someone who's never driven a train this big. He's driven a few golf carts here and there, and then you stick him in a full old locomotive, and you can't be surprised when it derails.
I know, Scott. It's a blooming difficult time as well as a United fan at the moment. We've got blooming Liverpool marching away at the top of the table. It's just ridiculous what's happening, and yeah, we're scrambling around chasing our tails and not looking like we're going to take the right steps to move away from this mess.
I do still think that it is much better that we're given a few months to prepare ourselves for them winning the league. It's not as though they're going to win the league on the last day. And if anything, it gives us a bit of time to mentally prepare for it or check out.
Yeah, but then they're going to be champions for longer, aren't they? That's the problem.
Yeah, well.
But you know what? I am still praying for that meteor to hit us all.
Yeah.
So we don't have to see it. I'm still praying.
Or if the coronavirus shuts down the Premier League this season, I'll be down for that.
anything to stop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bad time at the moment. It really is. And look, we just had the transfer window, and we've just sort of fumbled around. We signed a player we should have signed last summer. Yeah, all reactionary and not forward thinking, I think.
But I think you didn't need to take the positive out of it. Who cares how it got done? It did get done. And we've been disappointed at the end of transfer windows being linked with someone all window and not getting him in the end.
Yeah.
So let's just be happy that we did get him.
You're right, Scott. You're right, mate.
You know?
Let's end on a positive,
Honestly.
Yeah. Thanks for listening today. Remember to follow us on Instagram at United100 Podcast, and we always appreciate 5-star reviews and love reading your comments too. We'll be back on Monday with a special show. Thanks for joining me again, Scott.
Thank you, TC.
Cheerio, Reds.
Ta-ra.